Chris, fantastic victory down here in South Wales. Not the great start to the game that you'd have wanted, but you've got the points in the end.
Put 10 years on me that one. Wow, not the best start. We were terrible, but reaction at half time, I suppose. But yeah, we were off of it. We lacked energy. We lacked intent. They started off on the front foot, and we warned. We talked about it before. We knew there'd be a reaction as it is because they've had a couple of bad results, especially getting beat in a local derby. They deserve to be up. I was just delighted that we weren't out of sight at half time. So we made some changes and, quick turnaround, and obviously getting that goal straight away was great. And I've got to say, I don't know what the moaning and groaning is about for me. And I'm not saying that he went to do Rian, but it's a red card in all day long. And missed a couple of chances after that. Got a penalty and not at our best, but I think we were, as I said, we were fortunate to be in the game at half time. But they didn't take their chances. We got ourselves going again, and it's a big 3 points for us.
Yeah, on nights like tonight, and when you're up against it in certain ways with the performance, that's what good seasons are built on, isn't it?
Well, you have to dig a bit deep, and as I said, we just looked really lethargic and passive. So it wasn't a typical performance from us that we've produced all season. So we're playing a couple of players out of position. We've obviously still sort of trying to get the minutes back into Tyrese, and Ben's played his first part of it today, but the introduction of Femi livened us up a little bit. And Tyrese coming on the pitch gave everybody a lift. We give us a real stretch, and we played a lot more quicker, a lot more intense, a lot more purpose, more positivity. Yeah, the boy gets sent off, and it changes the outcome of the game. But it's just one of those nights where you just have to get the correct result, and we've managed to do that.
Looked like a penalty as well for that decision, and nicely tucked away by Harrison.
Yeah, I thought it was. So, it was a difficult night because there was a few bits and pieces flying about, and I know everybody will look at the sending off, and I suppose the locals will think they're being hard done by the referee's decisions. But I thought it was a difficult night for him. I thought there was a lot of stuff there which I didn't like. It was some poor decisions by us as well. When we were in the possession and leaving with the man late on, wasn't the greatest of services as well. It looked quite heavy and bobbly out there, and we just had to get through it. But you saw the team before. We're trying desperately hard to bring people into the group. We've got Vinny back, and we've got Jez back. We've got Ben, hopefully with minutes under his belt. Tyrese with minutes under his belt as well. So onto Friday. I think that the recovery since from Sunderland, in terms of how we've been and stretched to get 3 wins on the bounce is immense. I suppose Mel, one that I always say, no pictures on a golf scorecard. So to get the result is big, but we have to learn, and I'm sure we will learn from this, because this could have hurt us tonight. And our first half performance, from my point of view, was really unacceptable. So, as you can imagine, it was a lively changing room at half time, and I asked the question. And to be fair to the players, they responded with the answer.
How close is Tom Cannon to being a Sheffield United footballer?
Well, I've got to say, I've focused on, even though it might not have looked I've done any focusing on the team after our first half performance, but I focused last 24 hours on the team. I know there's work going on away, medical involved as well. I think that's common knowledge. So I think we're pretty close to Tom coming into the group as well. Another one that I didn't talk about. So fingers crossed we'll get the cavalry into help, because there was a lot of tired bodies out there. A lot of weary players that had to get through the game. As I said, not an ideal situation in terms of the 2 midfield players, with Harrison having to play in there, but it was needs must, and he did his best. And we got through a game. by hook or by crook, and sometimes that's a skill and that's an ability to find a way to win, and we found a way to win. But to get players back, to get players more minutes, and to get players through the door, it's desperately needed, as we all understand.
Thank you, Chris.